Canada couldn't evade the vortex of extreme weather.
The windows were shaking, the floors were shaking.
Twisted terror as 6 tornadoes touched down in and around the nation's capital. Ripped homes, downed lines, and uprooted lives.
And I've never seen that before, where there's literally nothing left.
I've never seen a river come as fast here.
2018 also submerged swaths of New Brunswick.
People who live here say they can't believe how fast the water rose.
Record spring floods left the province overwhelmed and underwater.
It just really blew our minds to see these houses where you can only see the roofs. They were completely knocked off of their foundations.
The deluge this year was even more devastating in the United States.
This is absolute madness right now.
In September, Hurricane Florence ravaged the Carolinas.
It was the biggest storm they had seen coming at the eastern seaboard of the United States in history.
You see lines of where the water was.
Downgraded, but still deadly, killing 53.
There's people cutting holes in their roofs to get up top and try to get rescued by these boats, and we saw it all day.
Only weeks later, America braced for impact again. Hurricane Michael barreled into the Florida Panhandle just shy of Category 5.
This was a storm that in just a few hours literally wiped entire communities off the map.
Michael is still taking down trees.
Its violent winds obliterating coastal cities.
You were actually thinking about the possibility that you might not make it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I looked out the window one time and I thought it was apocalypse.
All around you, everything was leveled.
This year, winds also became fuel for unforgiving flames.
The fire burned from one house to the next house to the next house until they're pretty much all gone.
California consumed by wildfires, burning at opposite ends of the state.
The Paramount Ranch, scene of countless westerns, and now a smoking ruin.
This fire is being called a monster.
In the town of Paradise, visions of hell.
Just standing there, you're overwhelmed by the sheer horror of what these people must have gone through.
And a catastrophic new record.
Terrible, terrible fatalities that we saw, especially in Paradise. At least 85 people killed there.
We had so many people begging us, essentially, can you go to this neighborhood and look at our homes there? And just by driving through there, we knew that most neighborhoods were destroyed.
From California to a killer quake in Indonesia. A 7.5 magnitude.
I would have to say it's probably one of the toughest stories I've had to cover. The images still are etched in my memory.
Buildings reduced to rubble and over 2,000 people killed.
This suburb of Palu completely obliterated. It looked like the earth was heaved open and everything was churning, and it was turned upside down.
Time and again, though, among the ruins.
His name is Janbar. This was a father who had lost his 3 children in the earthquake.
Resilience.
So even amid all of this horror, the devastation, this catastrophe, this calamity, you've got this father who's still grieving and still wants to help others. It got to me. And every time I still talk about it, it still gets to me.
Unclaimed backpacks and abandoned bicycles. At first, the only signs of 12 missing boys and their soccer coach. For the wild boars, exploring the local cave was supposed to be a 1-hour adventure.
They're going with their coach, and they find themselves trapped in their circumstances that are just beyond their control.
With every minute, flash flooding forced them deeper into the twisted depths. As word got out, rescuers tried to find a way in.
The more days went on, people started to lose hope.
A restless international waiting game. On day 9, an astonishing sight.
No, thank you. How many of you? 13. Brilliant.
Brilliant, because of course we knew there were 13 who were missing, so now we knew they were all alive.
The boys were alive, but still trapped in a treacherous labyrinth.
We're coming. Okay. Many people are coming.
An operation so dangerous, a former Thai Navy SEAL died a hero trying to bring them oxygen.
That opened their eyes to the level of safety that they had to go to.
Inside a nearly impossible mission.
If you don't know how to swim and you're in a very black environment, which can potentially kill you inside a cave, it's not a good environment to learn in.
So the last option was bring them out one by one through this very complex maze of caves that were, some had, you know, the jagged rocks overhead, some were just long stretches where they needed scuba equipment, but not just normal scuba equipment because it's so confined. They decided that's the one they're going to have to do.
Outside an impromptu village with a singular focus.
There was people from just all over the countryside, all over the cities that had migrated out there and gathered around the media. They brought, you know, food and water. It was hot. It was remote.
Suddenly, a rare break in the weather and a short window of time. The first boy is pulled out.
This riveting saga of bravery against all odds. We drove like crazy to get right to the mouth of the cave where it was chaos and craziness, and media from around the world.
After 18 days, one by one, they emerge out of the darkness and into the global spotlight.
Their families still had not hugged them. They were behind this glass, their first glimpse of them as we got the first glimpse of them. They're sitting there in their hospital gowns, flashing a victory sign with pure joy.
Little boys, instant celebrities with an incredible survival story.
I think a bona fide miracle, and we don't say miracles in news very often.
Still ahead.
This is a witch hunt and it's a disgrace.
From Sierra